Hello and welcome to Nolo Time, episode 78. My name is Obed and with me back from frigid New York City, Mr. Joel Young.
What's good, Nolo Time? It feels like Captain Cold and Mr. Freeze have teamed up to just make the United States a very cold place right now.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that some superheroes can round this up because, Obed, it's cold.
Dude, I'm assuming you're familiar with the poster for The Day After Tomorrow, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so I saw on Reddit that someone just stroke over the day after as tomorrow. It's just frozen.
Yep.
Man, hope you guys up there, if you're listening, hope you guys are doing well and not getting yourself into trouble by going out into sub-zero temperatures.
People are dying, man.
It's bad.
Yeah.
It's bad. Like, it's like my room, like down here in Florida, it's been
cold.
Like, we'd have a serious week. It's been, under, in the 40s in the morning, which is cold for us. I know that it's kind of dumb that you'd say it's, not really that cold, but it is cold.
Yeah, it's cold.
Yeah. So, Joe, what you got, man? How's the trip? Everything going all right?
Yeah, man. The trip was definitely one of those things where you just try and take care of business because it was for business, but I also had some downtime a little bit, so that was good to see some people I hadn't seen in a while. Main thing for me was find some time this weekend to finish out The Punisher. Punisher season 2, of course, dropped on Netflix. And of course, this is probably the last time we'll see the Marvel Netflix series on the big screen, on the screen there with Netflix. So Punisher being at the end, and I really think for the most part that they did a really good job in this season. When I say that for the most part, there are some stuff that I have issues with. There's a storyline that it just doesn't come as nicely together as you might have liked, and that's that one of the Pilgrim that they have in there. It's very isolated from the Billy Russo storyline, which is the very more fascinating, more entertaining side of the series. And when you get into the stuff with the Pilgrim, it feels like an afterthought, and it just doesn't catch your attention as much as you would like. Separate from all of that, the strongest points really is that the Billy Russo return and Punisher have to take care of business with that. I think that's the big takeaway there. And then of course, seeing Agent Madani back in play, seeing this new lady that makes that Punisher basically takes on to protect, which is where it spirals out into what the whole series is going to be about. That season's going to be about. Just from him bumping into this 16-year-old girl at a bar, and next who's on the run, and it just all goes crazy from there. I think her character is the more relatable character for the season as the Watcher. She doesn't have any special abilities. She's just trying to protect herself, and she falls into a situation that the Punisher's there to save her, fortunately. And it's a good series. I recommend it. It's a good watch. You have to watch season 1. There's no way around it. If you there's this saying that the main point is the Billy Russo storyline. If you don't know what happened to Billy in the first season, you won't understand the Jigsaw situation later on. That's the heart of the series. So watch season 1 if you haven't seen it yet, and then give season 2 a chance. It's better than some of the other season 2s I think that Netflix put out there. I enjoyed it. But there's some issues with it, but still I enjoyed it. But Obed, this is probably it.
Cool. All right, man. I actually got quite a bit of stuff to talk about, Joel, because Kingdom Hearts 3 came out, and I am very excited. I was able to just briefly go into it, so I'm not too deep in. I'm only about an hour and a half in, and I mean, so far so good. It does have some technical. I want to say technical issues. If you guys are familiar with Digital Foundry, they specialize in analyzing game performance, and they run games through these tools and other devices that measures, native resolution, frame rate, frame pacing, pretty, very technical. Their videos are definitely not for everyone. Anyone that's interested in the nuts and bolts on how games work would be interested in watching their videos. But they are very, very good. I really enjoy their content. But other than that, and I'll go into a bit, man. But other than that, it's pretty good. I mean, the combat's solid again. It's basically Kingdom Hearts 2 on steroids, which is what I really liked, because Kingdom Hearts 1, it was a more straightforward sort of game. It was more, I want to say, linear in certain ways. The combat wasn't great. It was it was fine, but then 2 just took it to a whole new level. So the combat on 3 is a step definitely above KH2. So I'm really, really looking forward to spending more time on that game over the weekend. But yeah, it does have some technical stuff here and there. There's some frame rate issues, especially on standard PS4. The game is really choppy at times. It does run around 45 frames a second. They put in a locked mode for frame rate. And what's interesting, Joel, is that as soon as I turn on they put it a locked mode where you can lock the frame rate to 30 frames a second. But when I went ahead and locked the frame rate, I noticed that the frame pacing was off. So I reverted back to just a regular straight up default setting for frame rate based on the Digital Foundry info. It does run around 40-ish, 45-ish. So it shoots for 60, it gets to 60, but it just really up and down. And that's the same across all platforms. They did find a trick on PS4 Pro, actually, where you can just force the game to run at 1080p without super sampling, and the game will run at a pretty much a solid 60 at 1080p. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to spending more time on that, man. And I know that it's gonna be long hours on that. On top of that, Joel, you remember I mentioned that I had spent some time on Destiny 2.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, I'm crap. I'm in. I'm like 20 hours in by now. So I actually kept playing it. It was it was pretty crazy. I got sucked in. I really did. And it's fun. Like, it's just the shooting. It's good. Mechanically, the game is really sound. I mean, the story is like all over the place, and it's like, I don't understand what's going on, but sure, the guns are fun, and the power ups are cool. So I spent I think last time we talked about it, I only spent like about an hour, maybe like 2 hours on it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like 20 hours in right now. It's it's there, man. I like it.
That's what's up.
Yeah. Joel, give me one sec.
Of course.
We're having a bit of a
hiccup on the technical side.
A bit of a hiccup. I don't know what's happening here.
It's all good. Yeah, Obed, no, I'm glad you got some time in there, man. I'm still playing on my still playing Smash Brothers on my Switch. That's my go-to right now. I really need to get back and playing more Crash though, because that's one of my favorite games. So yeah, man. But I think once I get Kingdom Hearts though, because I am planning on getting it, dude. Like, I think I'm gonna spend a lot of time on that.
Yeah, it's definitely it's worth it. I mean, it's really good. It looks really nice. Like, the presentation wise, it's really nice. I mean, you can tell like from some of the presentation stuff and some of the I don't want to say because the Kingdom Hearts they play a certain way.
Yeah.
So and that's intact, right? It feels like Kingdom Hearts. It looks really nice. So they definitely have that visual upgrade, but you can tell that they started this game on a different engine and they just moved it over. You can tell that this game was ported from a different engine, and my suspicion, and I think this may definitely be the case. They probably started this game on Luminous Tools, the engine they used for Final Fantasy 15, and they just had so many issues that they probably just had to just port it over to Unreal Engine 4. And I mean, but it looks great, man. But again, just going back, dude, like I got sucked into Destiny too, and I think I'm gonna stop for sure because now Kingdom Hearts is out. I got Resident Evil 2 last week, which I didn't get to play because I played Destiny.
Oh, that's crazy. I would not have thought the day would come, man.
I know, a game that I'm super excited about. I didn't get to play this past weekend. Well, here's the thing, right? So RE2 came out Friday. And Kingdom Hearts came out yesterday, so I was like, I'm not gonna have time to finish Resident Evil before Kingdom Hearts comes out, and I really want to get into Kingdom Hearts. So I don't like to start games and stop, and then play something else. I like to see them through. So that's what that's my line of thought on this thing, man. It's like I don't want to get into it and then just stop and then finish it 4 months later. So I'm probably just gonna give it a break and go all into Kingdom Hearts 3. DMC 5 comes out March 8th, so it's probably gonna be the next after Kingdom Hearts, and then I'll probably get into Resident Evil, and then I'll probably get into like Sekiro and these other games, which I don't want to pre-order because I don't. Like, okay, I'm getting what I want, right? And then the other games like Sekiro and other games that are coming out throughout the year, because there's a lot of stuff coming out. And I'm probably not gonna. I've never been really big into Mortal Kombat, but I don't know if you got a chance to see any of the Mortal Kombat stuff, and that comes out in April. So. A lot of stuff coming out. I mean, I try to prioritize with gaming. I don't have a lot of time to game, so I try to keep a sort of a flow chart of games throughout the whole year. So it's been working.
It's good things to look forward to.
Yeah, seriously. Plus tomorrow, and there's what, we'll save this one for the news. But we do have some breaking news, Joel.
Yes, we do.
Let's jump into that. The freaking Batman, Joel. All right, so it's confirmed, and we have a date, right,
yep.
Joel?
June 25th, 2021.
Okay, and that is an exact year after Wonder Woman, right?
Exactly.
Pretty much. Okay. No Ben Affleck.
Yep.
All right. I don't know how I feel about this, Joel. I don't know. Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
I think this. I mean, we knew the writing was on the wall for this, but the reports are that no Ben Affleck, and not only are they looking to replace him, but they're specifically looking for a younger actor to replace him. So that makes it clear to us that they're not trying to keep the same timeline with Batman. They're not trying to basically look for just a Ben Affleck replacement. They're just looking for an entirely new Batman at this point. With that being said, how is this playing to consistencies? Are there any consistencies right now in the world? The wording from, I believe, Matt Reeves in one of his things was something along the lines of how, like, this is the wording that Matt Reeves told Hollywood Reporter. He said, "Right now I'm involved in the Batman. What it will be called ultimately, I don't know. Aquaman is going to be very different from Todd Phillips' Joker movie, and that's going to be different from Shazam and Harley Quinn. Warner believes they don't want to try to develop a giant slate that has to have all the plans for how it's going to connect. What they need to try to do is make good movies with these characters. So they're treating them as standalones that just so happen to exist in the same universe, but they're not looking to directly connect to each other. And that's probably what they're doing with this franchise as well. It's a separate entity. They realize that their connected universe between, you know, Man of Steel, Batman vs. Superman, Wonder Woman, and then Justice League did not hit off as well as they hoped it would. So now these entities just live on their own, and that's a shame because these are some really powerful characters that really should have been easy to execute.
This should
have easier than even Marvel characters.
To some extent, yeah. I mean, because they're already, you don't need to establish these characters.
Nope.
Everyone knows Superman. Everyone knows Batman. Everyone knows Wonder Woman. Like we've been watching, you know, Superman cartoons and whatnot since, you know, Super Friends. And,
long
you know,
time.
So it's been a very, very long time. Even before that, you know, Superman and Batman had their own, I would say, golden era.
Yes.
Sort of animated series or serials at the time. So everyone knows them. They're very absolutely well-known characters. There's no reason to mess it up the way they did. This was surefire. Warner, with this mentality of, I was like, all right, so here's your project and here's my advisor. So, you know, is it my project or is it, you know, the studio just going in and just nitpicking things they want in the movie? And that was the problem from the beginning, and we knew that this was a problem.
Yes.
It's been an issue forever. I think the only movie that is not affected by these problems is probably Man of Steel, because I think that was a movie that was able to actually come out in its purest form.
Yes.
And to some extent the ultimate cut of Batman v Superman, but you know, all other movies that had come out after that, I mean, Wonder Woman, I think for the most part was fine, and I haven't seen Aquaman, and I don't know what went behind the scenes. We've all known what's going on with the Flash movie that's been, you know,
three different developers, directors.
Three different directors. It's been stop and go since it was announced. So we see these problems, right? And then again, we don't. It's not that we're fanboys. We're not cashing checks. We're not, you know, trying to just Joel's wearing his Justice League hat. You know,
I am, guys.
Yeah, he's not being a fanboy. So, but we, you know, we have to make the mandatory comparison. You know, even though we sometimes don't want to, but you got Marvel putting out obscure D-tier characters and just putting them on their cinematic universe and making it work in a very impressive way. So why I really don't understand. I'm kind of frustrated. It's funny because I mentioned it to my wife before I started recording. I was like, hey, they announced a Batman movie, no Ben Affleck. She's like, what? So
yeah.
It's like, yeah, why? I was like, oh, well, I don't know. I guess he's not going to be in the movie. It's like, well, that sucks. I was like, even she told me that.
Oh, yeah.
Kind of sucks. So, and he does. You know, I really like Ben Affleck. I mean, again, we've talked about it on the podcast. He's had his problems, whatever he's got going on in his personal life. I mean, it's as long as he takes care of it and as long as he's in good shape to work, we're good. But then at the same time, you know, just going back to the drawing board and doing this thing, it may or may not work. I don't know. I really feel that this Joker movie that's coming out late this year, right? Or early next
this year.
I don't know that movie. That movie, when first got announced, people were really skeptical. Then a couple of like test shots came out and people kind of got excited, but then the more we saw, the more we heard, we were like, so we'll see how that comes out. I mean, again, hoping for the best, and whatever DC/WB decides to do with this thing, you know, if they just want to go back to just having like a scattered around sort of universe, as long as the products are good, I mean, whatever works. because
Yeah.
that's what they've been doing with their animated features, and it's been working. So
Yeah, and it doesn't mean that they can't connect it at some point. It just means they're just like, we just want to make good movies. Like we're over this big giant slate. That's the wording that they use. So, but this unfortunate Obit, because they had some great talent involved with these movies. I mean, for the most part, generally speaking, you had, I think Henry Cavill was a good choice for Superman.
Yeah.
We all know that he dropped out. I
sorta.
think exactly
unofficially, yeah.
unofficially, and it doesn't look like they're really making much efforts to get him back. And now with this, feels similarly again. Now Ben Affleck, which, I mean, I think Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill was supposed to be more of the Robert Downey Jr. and Chris Evans of the DC universe, and that seemed like a very formidable, very good choice from both a standpoint of talent and just from they look very committed to their roles. And I mean, now two big people essentially no longer a part of this. I can't see how they recover long term. I think what could very well happen, someone else suggested this to me, saying that, well, they're gonna put out what they've had in development rather, which is of course this movie. The Wonder Woman movie is supposed to be coming out because they've already got that movie finished filming. Birds of Prey, Joker, and then they'll probably take a good 2-3 year break, and they should.
Yeah, and then they need to figure out what they want to do.
Yeah,
I mean, because at that point we're gonna be going into, Marvel Phase 5, and God knows what we're gonna be getting.
Oh
Joel.
my goodness!
It's gonna be ridiculous. And
Hulk versus Fing Fang Foom. Who knows at that point? Oh my goodness!
Oh man, Fing Fang Foom is
I'm getting sweaty,
cut.
guys.
That's a deep cut right there. Holy crap!
Yep. Kang the Conqueror. Oh my goodness!
It's
Namor.
Yeah. Who has the rights to Namor are weird, right? They're caught up in some weird thing.
I think it was similar to the Universal situation with Hulk. I think.
Yeah. I heard that was some weird thing, but yeah, dude, we're gonna be getting this Mephisto and the Ghost Rider things are gonna come back.
Plus the Fox characters back. I mean, it's too much.
Wolverine versus the Hulk, or whatever.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. But I mean, again, DC. Hopefully they figure it out. I mean, they have fantastic properties. It's a shame that it's been so tumultuous in that regard. So I mean, here we go. Hopefully they can figure it out. But moving on to DC, Joe, Birds of Prey, out of nowhere, we got
surprise.
Which is not even a trailer. Is like a tease. Yeah, it's like a character reveal sort of thing.
Yes.
We get to see a very interesting choice of costume for Harley Quinn. Which I am not a big fan of. A lot
of people are telling me that they don't like it.
Not a big fan of that costume design for Harley. We get to see the Huntress and some of the other characters. Joe, I mean, I watched it. I watched it a couple of times. I mean, again, this is just it was a character reveal. Not a lot going on. But Joel, what do you think?
Best part of this trailer is the confirmation of the characters, and more so, I mean, we already knew it, but just seeing that Ian McGregor is there as the Black Mask. I think that's what's going to make this movie stand out in comparison to Suicide Squad. People are going to compare it right away because it's a team of rogues, and of course a more villain again that they're facing off against, and Black Mask being that villain, I think, is what's going to make this movie so much better, at least right now on paper, just because I think Enchantress was so weak in that Suicide Squad movie.
It was terrible, dude.
So bad. It was so bad that you just didn't care anymore. And I think when you've got a guy like Ian McGregor, great talent, and you got a great villain like Black Mask, and you take some of these characters now and bring them into a story with these two, you've got some good tent poles to really hang on to there. You know, obviously, it looks like the idea is to make it an all female kind of lineup of villains slash heroes. Canary, Huntress.
Yeah.
So
And
I'm
also, yeah, Canary's outfit also was
Ye-
weird.
yeah, I mean, we only see like the hands and the top part of it, but they all have a very like stitched together kind of look, and I'm not too crazy about. But I think where this came from was probably some of those principal photography, like just to kind of see like how do we want what they probably tried on like 20 different costumes in all seriousness, and just because said, hey, this is how we want you guys to look. Hey, we can maybe cut something out of this and make a little tease saying yes, this movie is coming. They probably also knew that this news was coming out as well this week, a tip off to the media about the Matt Reeves Batman storyline. So to keep
Yeah.
DC in the conversation, some little PR damage control there. That's my guess, of course. But yeah, it's a tease. DC will continue to put out what's on their slate, like I'm saying before. They're gonna put these movies out they've had in production. Margot Robbie is producing this movie, so that's why it has to come out. She's putting her money behind it, her team.
Will come on, yeah,
Exactly. So yeah, we'll see what comes of it.
yeah. But well, I mean, it's this is not a movie that I'm hyped about.
Yeah,
It's
same.
like it's like Suicide Squad, right? I'll see it whenever I stumble upon it. So I'm not too invested in it at this point. I mean, if Ewan McGregor turns out to be fantastic as Black Mask, then sure, I'll make some effort and try to watch it. But
More than likely, you'll probably wait. Yeah.
yeah, more than likely I'll probably wait. I'm in like no rush to see this movie. So we'll see how it turns out. Hopefully, again, DC by then will be able to turn it around. But speaking of a sort of obscure character that took over last year, Joel, and just made history, Black Panther got nominated for Best Picture for the Academy Awards.
Oh my goodness, what a great time to be a nerd. It's not even about being a Marvel fan in general. Like, this is a win for fandom.
For nerdom all
Yeah.
around the world. Yeah.
Literally. Like,
Seriously. Yeah, I'm really happy for them.
you would never have seen this happen 5 years ago. And I know the conversation for a lot of people right away is like, I think there are other superhero movies before this that should have. We can't go backwards, guys. We're in the now.
Yeah.
This pioneers the way for the future. It takes just one to get recognized, and now it's gonna get the eye, I think, of all these critics, a part of this film academy, to say we take notice of what Feige and team is doing here. And I think it's a positive. Again, I'm not trying to discredit the arguments. I'm even one of those people that, look, I will say there are other Marvel films that should have gone. I'm not even going to say Best Picture. I'm just going to say recognition aside from visual effects.
Yeah.
But
Winter
I'm
Soldier.
happy. Exactly. Winter Soldier, it was the first for sure on that scale. But yeah, like, and I think Civil War for acting. Like, I thought RDJ actually could have even got a Best Supporting Actor for that movie, dude. The movie's so freaking good. I see the arguments, but I'm not here to stay on that. I think we need to celebrate this and not make this be overshadowed by the past, and celebrate what this also means for the future. Of course, also visual effects. Infinity War got the nomination there for Best Visual Effects, and looking at the list, there's other good movies on that list, but I don't think Ready Player One should win. The movie's fine, but it's not the best visual effects of the year. The Christopher Robin movie, I liked that movie. It's really good. Don't think that necessarily should win. I mean, looking at the ones on that list, Obed, I really, and I'm not trying to sound biased, guys, but I really feel that movie should win Best Visual Effects. Thanos
Thanos alone
is just
Yeah.
It's it.
Yeah.
Josh Brolin is Thanos, and it's him in a purple form. It's just fantastic.
In a Grievous costume. Yeah, no, yeah, seriously, it was really good. And then some, you got the other effects going on in space, and
Yeah.
Thor's hammer and Wakanda, and other stuff that happened in the movie. Yeah, that movie just the scale of the battle at the end of the movie
Oh
and
my
all that.
goodness.
Yeah, it's so good. And then the way they use color with the Infinity Stones and some of the other worlds that we're not gonna go into spoilers, but yeah. It's yeah, for sure.
Phenomenal. Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see how that turns out. But yeah, man, Black Panther again,
Best
getting
picture. Amazing.
best picture. Yeah, getting that recognition. We'll see how this again, like you said, paves the way the way to for future movies. And again, as we talked in the past, for a potential new category for the Academy Awards, which I think would not be fair
Me either.
because it's great to see that these movies are getting the same recognition as this Oscar bait drama, like real life situation stuff, like it's too like you would think it's too ridiculous for real life, but yeah, it's whatever. So which again, I'm not talking down this sort of movies, but it's I
It feels
don't
like
go
a
to the movies.
same realm.
Yeah, exactly. I don't
Same
go to the
thing.
movies to
Yeah.
get freaking depressed and sad about society and all this crap. I want to have a good time. I want to have fun. If I want to get depressed, I just watch the news. I just want to have fun.
No, I agree, and I think like going on the opposite side of the spectrum, like just think to yourself. I understand people saying these are really great movies. I understand that argument, but same can be said for those who are fans of these other types of movies. And imagine if those were the only movies being recognized, and these other based on a true story films were not being recognized. You would feel the same way, impartial. That's how people on our side of the spectrum feel, where it's like it doesn't always represent the entirety. It just represents a small group of people that good for them that they're getting the recognition and whatnot. But I think bringing this a movie like this and whatnot brings that balance. So if you try and make a new category
Yeah.
saying best blockbuster film, essentially, the basic highest grossing movies. So you're looking at, of course, superhero films and other sci-fis and etc. Like you're basically saying, oh, they're not good enough to be the best picture, but they're making money, so we'll give them an award for making money. That's, to me, that's a little offensive. That's at least how I interpret it today. So
like
hopefully they can keep it the way it is right now and just include every now and then a good movie like Black Panthers.
Yeah, it's like the Grammys, right? The Grammys are garbage because it's
Yeah.
whoever sells the most, you get
Money.
the prize.
Yep.
Yeah. And it's not about quality. It's
No.
about how much money you make. And
It's a popularity contest.
Yeah.
You could be a guy, one man in a guitar singing. It has an EP, and it's like the best things ever. He's never gonna get the recognition that a big AAA lister.
Yeah. And it's the same. I mean, I know that at some point it was, but now it's not.
Yeah, agreed.
It's not what it is right now.
Agreed.
Which we have to give credit was credit's due to the Academy, because they've been able to maintain their quality control, and they've been able to actually maintain their identity in all of this. So kudos to them. Just moving along, Joe. So we're running a little bit behind, but we got a ton of stuff to talk
I know,
about.
especially since last week being
Holy
out. This is
crap.
good stuff, guys.
I know, yeah. We got a ton of stuff to talk about here. Joel, we talked about the Switch. We'll talk about this one real quick. But it was confirmed by NPD that the Switch was the best-selling console of 2018. I know you have one. I am in the market. Again, I got 2 more stuff to play. So I'm probably just going to hold off until maybe around summer. But I am definitely in the market for a Switch. I'm hoping that they make a crazy announcement for that, supposed, updated version sometime early this year. But we'll see. But yeah, Joel, again, Nintendo is the little system that could, because
Yes.
severely underpowered compared to the PS4 and and even the original Xbox One. It's not able to compare to that. So just having Nintendo build this hybrid system and pair it up with what I think it's the best the best year one for any console ever.
Yes.
That in regards to software, because they put out Zelda, they put out Mario Kart, they put out Mario Odyssey. So all these things coming out on year one, it's phenomenal. This was like A+ quality titles coming out on a year one of a hybrid console, something that hasn't been done, that wasn't done until that point in time. So
absolutely, I agree with you. Exactly what you said. Like, perfect year. That's what 2018 was for them. I mean, they I don't think they missed a step at all last year by any regards from a business standpoint. Obviously, sales are showing it now, but just evaluating both the games, and of course the sales combined that they put out, it's just a perfect year for them. And then you look at also what's going on now for the following year for 2019. They're in good hands now, so there's no need for them to really have a drop at this point. They're probably gonna stay up there for a while.
Yeah, they shouldn't. I don't think they should freak out too much.
Yeah.
Of course, we just got the news 2 days ago that Metroid Prime 4 development for Metroid Prime 4 got restarted, and it was given back to Retro Studios, the original developers of the Metroid Prime trilogy. So for this year, for 2019, I think they only have 3 big games, Joel. I think they have a Yoshi game that's coming out in March. They just had actually 4, because they just had a port of new Super Mario Brothers U. Remember that came out for
Yep.
Wii U? So that got a port that came out 2 weeks ago. I think there's Yoshi comes out in March, and then there's a Luigi's Mansion. There's Luigi's Mansion coming out this year. And then there's an Animal Crossing coming out this year. Animal Crossing is huge.
And also you have Ultimate Alliance. Don't forget, an Ultimate Alliance. It's an exclusive as well. It's Switch as well. Yeah. So I'm pretty hyped about that.
Yeah, and it's being published by Nintendo themselves. So
yeah,
Japanese developed too. So it's
seriously.
Yeah, that's gonna be a very interesting game, Joel.
Yeah. The other cool thing about this, just the thought of the Switch as a whole, is like how you said, the hybrid system, like the way they really got that locked down. I mean, looking at their predecessor Wii U, they didn't have very good success, and they tried to go a little bit of that route, of trying to make it like a bit of a handheld, trying to be hybrid. They could have, after that console came out and seeing how it performed, they could have easily said, like, we're moving on from this as a whole and just go back to traditional straight TV console system. And instead they're like, no, we're gonna try again, and we're gonna take this even a step further. And I love that. I love that they were confident enough with what they had, and it really is paying off.
Yeah, I actually saw an article, and apparently the person that's talking about this has a very good track record, and they're talking about how apparently there's been a Sony handheld project in the works for a couple of years now, but it is uncertain if Sony is actually planning to sell this product around the world, or if it's just going to be a Japan only product. And it's basically a handheld that would have the capability of running PS4 games natively and streaming PS5 games whenever that happens. And we'll talk about PS5 in a little bit. Just something got confirmed that we've talked about before.
Yep.
I think Nintendo is going to have a decent 2019. They have a strong library already in place. People are buying the console. I think what they need to do, man, again, do a little refresh. They don't have to go all out into refreshing the entire console, but just by adding a little bit more internal storage, just giving you a little bit better battery and a little bit of a better screen, just cosmetics almost, that would make a big difference.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah. So even if they do that. But also, speaking of 2018 numbers, we have the list of the 20 best-selling games of 2018, and I'm gonna go through this list, and we can share opinions as we go. Disclaimer: some of these do not include digital sales, and that goes specifically for the Nintendo titles. It does not include digital sales, and it does not include, and some titles do not include PC sales as well.
For sure.
Number one selling game of 2018. No surprise there. It was Red Dead Redemption 2. So that was the number one. Black Ops 4, number 4. Number 2, I'm sorry. No surprise there. I mean, again, the Call of Duty is usually top of the list every year. And this was a Rockstar year, so that's totally appropriate, I think, those 1 and 2. Number 3, Joel, NBA 2K19. Talk about a strong performance there.
Not surprising to me, though. I mean, I'm surprised it's top 3.
Yeah.
But I'm not surprised that it performed well, just because people did like 2K18, and the NBA is a hot franchise. It's probably the number one sports right now. Basketball is probably the number one sport to watch right now as it stands, aside from, of course, esports. But football has gone really down and whatnot, so I'm not surprised.
Yeah, well, number 4 is Madden. so you're right there, Joe.
It's right behind us.
It's right behind you guys. Number 5 is Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Yeah.
With again, no digital sales included, so this could very well be number 1. We don't know. Yeah, we don't really know.
Smash Bros.
Yeah. Spider-Man number 6. That's pretty good. It's a pretty good showing for Spidey. Far Cry 5 at number 7. That's Far Cry usually sells well. There was this title. There was a lot of hype behind it, and you know it does help that this Far Cry is on everything. So that's I think that's pretty good for Ubisoft game. God of War at number 8. Monster Hunter World at number 9, which I believe, Joel, is on track to become Capcom's highest selling title ever. So yeah, great for Capcom. Also RE2, it's outpacing all previous Resident Evil titles so far. So just to throw it out there. Assassin's Creed Odyssey number 10, Joel. That
good game.
Yeah. I keep hearing very positive things about it.
I know you don't have time, but if you did, and those of you out there listening, if you have time, it's a good pickup.
Yeah. Joel, number 11. It's Grand Theft Auto 5. This game came out in 2013, guys. It's okay. You can let it go. It's fine. It's fine. You can do without it. It's okay. It's okay.
My goodness.
But Mario Kart 8 was the number 12 title.
I have that one.
Yep, not including digital sales. Fair to mention that this game actually came out August of 2017. So
yes.
This game even came out the previous year. It didn't even come out this year, this past year. FIFA 19 was number 13. Battlefield 5 number 14. Super Mario Odyssey, again a game that came out in 2017. It's at number 15. Call of Duty World War II, Joel. This is the 2017 title.
Yep.
So this is at number 16. Yeah. Number 17, Dragon Ball Fighter Z. Yeah, we made it. We made top 20.
There you go.
Man. Told you. Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild, again going back to Switch, the stellar year one that the Switch had. This was a Switch release title, and it's here. It's still on the list. Super Mario Party at number 19, and that came out pretty late during the year. I think that came out like November too. And number 20 is Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu. So that's your top 20 games for 2018.
Fascinating.
Joe. Yeah, it's a very, very eclectic list of games with some really good stuff and some things that I would play. I think out of all of these games, probably Madden's the one that I'm the least interested in.
Yeah.
Because of me not liking Madden that much. But other than that, man, this is very solid. And again, shout out to DBFC. And we'll actually, you know what? Let's go ahead and jump into Dragon Ball, Joe. There was the Namco's event over the weekend happened, and they announced that tomorrow on January 31st. If you're listening to this on the 30th, the season 2 for Dragon Ball Fighter Z comes out. They released a bunch of patch notes yesterday afternoon, but more importantly, season 2 of Dragon Ball Fighter Z will see again 6 new characters. They announced 4 of them already. So 2 are coming out tomorrow when season 2 drops, and that is Jiren and man, I was like, I need coffee, bro.
It's okay. Just a little bit cold out there throws you off too.
I know. Oh man. So it is Jiren and Videl are coming out for Dragon Ball Fighter Z. Of course, Videl will have Super Saiyan Man or the Great Saiyan Man with her as a sort of a tag team character. Jiren was a given. I mean, he was very popular on Dragon Ball Super. Of course, that tournament arc was fantastic at the end of Super. So that's it's a given. But then the next 2 characters they announced, Joe, it's going back to a couple of weeks ago. Dragon Ball Super Broly did very well in the theaters. It was number 3 last weekend. Do you see that?
Yeah.
Number 3 on box office sales. So they announced that we're gonna get Broly from Dragon Ball Super, along with Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan, or Super Saiyan Blue, just to simplify it, Gogeta. Good picks, in my opinion. I'm curious to see how Gogeta plays. That seems like a character I would play, since I already play Vegito. I was like, just combining all the fusion characters on my team may probably be a pretty good idea. But I'm curious to see how he plays. And then we got 2 question mark characters that we don't know, and that's probably, if you ask me, Joel, that's probably gonna be Kefla with either a fusion with it would be either Kale with Kefla as an assist, or with Caulifla as an assist, or Kefla as the character, and the other one's probably gonna be Ultra Instinct Goku. So that's my prediction for that. We'll see how that goes. Dragon Ball Fighter Z is still doing hot, man. I wish I had more time, put more lap time on that game. Last time I went online, I got whooped. I wasn't too happy. I was feeling the salt, if you know what I mean.
He's not salty.
Yeah, I became the salt for a second.
That's
man.
it right there. He is the salt.
I became the salt. But it was a while before I jumped in, and I didn't do any lap time, so I just jumped in online and I got whooped, and it was you know what, it's fine. I'm here.
Obed accepts it.
I'm here for fun. I'm not here to pretend that I'm the best. I'm here to have fun. So, but Joe, alongside the announcement for Dragon Ball Fighter Z, Namco also revealed that there is a new Dragon Ball game coming out called right now it's called Dragon Ball Project Z, and which they described as an action RPG, and this is being developed by CyberConnect 2, the guys behind the Naruto games. They did the JoJo games that came out for PS3 and PS4, if I'm not wrong. I think they did both of them, and they did Asura's Wrath, which was an over-the-top action game that Capcom published. So it looks cool from from a visual standpoint. It doesn't look as I want to say as good as Dragon Ball Fighter Z, visually, but it looks good. It doesn't pretend that it's gonna be realistic graphics like Jump Force. It's using cell shading in a very nice way, so it looks solid. Curious to see what the gameplay and what this thing's gonna look like in action. So interesting stuff coming out of Namco, man. They're going hard in Dragon Ball now again. We got two Xenoverse games like pretty much back to back. Fighter Z. Now we're getting this announced, new season for Fighter Z. A movie that just came out.
And apparently good too.
Yeah. I heard it was really good.
It's good.
Yeah. So, man, just a lot of Dragon Balls. Like, it's probably the best time to be a Dragon Ball fan because I remember back in my day, Joel, when Dragon Ball GT came out, and we were all super sour and disappointed with how terrible GT was. And then Dragon Ball pretty much died for a few years, and then it resurfaced on English TV. Basically Cartoon Network revived it or brought it here, and then it saw a resurgence in popularity. But I think right now it's the most popular it's ever been. So I am really good. Happy about this. Yeah. Joel, we got some news from the PC gaming spectrum, and we've talked about the Epic Game Store that launched and how they are securing exclusive titles for this service. And a big one that a lot of people were expecting to come out on Steam, come out on PC, because everything comes out on Steam, and that was Metro Exodus. Is one of the most anticipated games this year. It was revealed, I think, a year and a half ago, I want to say, at a Microsoft... Oh, this was revealed when they revealed the Xbox One X. It wasn't that big reveal. And they announced that this game is going to be... on the PC, is going to be exclusively available on the Epic Game Store. Steam or Valve started crying foul, saying this is not fair, and I totally understand where they're coming from. But this sort of thing happens when you don't have when you go unfazed for 15 years without any competition, and then
absolutely,
and then suddenly competition comes in and things get ugly. Joel, we're not necessarily PC gamers, but you totally understand, where this
we know how
is going.
this works. Yep.
Yeah. Joel, what do you think of this?
I don't think it's unfair. That's straightforward. It's not unfair, and the reason being is just because somebody locks into an exclusive rights doesn't mean that, like, out of nowhere now you're at a loss or anything. It's just the other guy had a better deal, and I mean this is what happens all the time in the console market. I mean, guess what? This guys have the rights to have a Spider-Man game exclusively on PlayStation, and okay, so that's it. Now they have this, and it's not unfair. They made a deal that they can do this, and cool. Like you said, Obed, they're just not used to this, but this is just the way it is, and I think competition drives more innovation. It's going to cause them to not just look at maybe staples as their financial upholds, but now looking at maybe some new things that can bring in some additional revenue that would compete against a Metro Exodus or etc. Yeah. There's plenty of other stuff out there. Yes, I understand. You're like, wow, it's a loss. They just swooped in and outbidded us and got this thing as an exclusive, but it's not unfair. It's a monopoly out there. This is how it has to be.
Yeah, I think the big thing was that Steam was already taking pre-orders for the game because the game was listed. People were already putting money, or not putting money technically, but pre-ordering the game on Steam, and then Valve has to go ahead and cancel all those pre-orders.
Yeah,
and basically pull the game, cancel pre-orders, move to the other platform if you want your game. There's people out there already trashing the Epic Game Store calling it the Tencent Store, or I don't want Chinese software installed on my machine, and this and that. I mean, it is what it is, right? It's business, it's competition. I think the big thing that caught Valve by surprise is that they already had the game up for pre-order, and they were not taking into consideration, hey, this sort of thing may happen. What should we do in this case? So now I think that both PC distribution platforms like the Epic Game Store and Steam, they need to or I'm not gonna leave this to the publisher, because these guys need to be doing their homework.
Yep.
These guys need to be reaching out to the publishers and saying, hey, are you gonna be on our platform? Are you gonna be on this guy's platform? Or are you gonna be on both? And they need to get their P's and Q's and straight and be able to figure out something to avoid this sort of mess in the future. But yeah, like what you said, I don't think this is unfair. As when I saw the first headline regarding this, I just thought of Anakin just going, it's like, it's not fair, just tossing things and Tatooine, just complaining about Obi-Wan. And I thought about that, and it's, you know what, again, these guys need to get together with publishers and make sure that this sort of like consumer impact doesn't happen again, because at the end of the day, consumers are being impacted with these changes, and you always want to keep that to a minimum. So I think that's one of the things that in the future they may be able to reevaluate. Joel, the last bit of news that we have here, we do have some other things, but we are already a little bit over. Is that Sony reportedly is moving ahead with focusing development on PS5. This, to me, this is no secret. I've been saying this for what, Joe, like 4 months now?
Of course.
It's like, dude, there's like nothing that's first party PlayStation. Like, there's nothing being worked on for PS4 with probably that hasn't been announced, right? Like, right. Ghost of Tsushima and The Last of Us Part 2, those are coming out for PS4. But other than those two games, dude, and even this
maybe
games,
Death Stranding.
Yeah. Well, maybe Death Stranding, but Death Stranding is not technically first party. It's being published by Sony, but it's, Kojima Productions. But yeah, I've known about this for a while now. And it was like the obvious way for Sony to start, strengthening their next gen platform. They need to refocus this, resources. They just can't keep putting out stuff for PS4 when they have a new platform coming out. There's again not a lot of info. This is something that came out and was acknowledged, and it's sort of official now. But we've sort of known for a while now. Joe, what do you think? It's are we close? Are we still shooting 2020 on this thing?
I think we might be. I still think this is the year to announce, and I think it's coming out next year. Like, I think this is the transition. We're in the transition officially, and it's not transition as in development. We're in the transition of they're trying to train us to look at the next thing and be ready for the next thing. So because they already have, it's already there. They're ready for it. But yeah, it makes sense. This is good news, actually. I think if you're a fan of what PlayStation's been doing, you shouldn't be, oh man, they're not still working on PS4 stuff. No, you should be happy that they're putting full efforts into PS5, because then that means that they're not just putting out a console for no reason. They're putting out, their next console with some solid plans ahead of time, and that's how you do it. You plan ahead, and I think it's gonna pay off.
Yeah, again, Microsoft's been doing this, with the studio acquisitions. They're totally. You can definitely tell that they're shifting. I think that Microsoft may launch first just because they
Yeah.
need a new platform because of how I you know in as a whole, the Xbox One did not do terrible, but they're like getting decimated right now, and that just it took them 3-4 years almost to switch their the word of mouth into, oh, you can't play used games, and this sort of like terrible PR disaster that they had that first year,
Right.
um, into something more positive with Game Pass, the X coming out, and all this stuff that backwards compatibility and all these things that they're doing. Then the studio acquisitions, they're refocusing into cloud gaming and all these things. Um, you can tell that they're prepping for a strong next gen, and that's awesome, because one again can assume PlayStation is doing the same thing, and if we get two strong products next gen, we'll win. So
Exactly.
at the end of the day, we will reap the benefits of the console wars at the end of the day. So, Joel, real quick, let's go ahead and talk about GameStop,
Oh
uh,
my goodness. Yeah.
because I had it here in the docket. I was gonna let it go, but let's go ahead and talk about it.
Why not?
Since we're already here. So GameStop, it was announced a couple months ago that they were looking for a buyer. Financially, the company has been ups and downs. They bought ThinkGeek, and they've sort of integrated some of ThinkGeek into GameStop stores. Um, they haven't been doing very well with used game sales. I think that people buying more games digitally now has definitely impacted that sort of market for used games. I haven't bought a used game in a very, very long time. Last game I bought at GameStop was actually Street Fighter Five. Interestingly enough,
Wow.
which I bought on release, and that was what, 2015, February 2015, I think.
Wow.
Um, yeah, February 2016. Yeah. So that was the last time I actually bought a game at GameStop, Joel. And I mean, I've bought shirts and Christmas ornaments, but not games.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's crazy. So they were looking for a buyer, and they were approached by Sycamore Partners and Apollo Global Management, which are companies that buy. Um, they're not companies, but they're investment firms that buy struggling companies, or companies that are looking to either avoid or get out of bankruptcy, and get a little bit more afloat than they used to be. They wanted to be able to stabilize GameStop, basically, in essence. Sorry, I hit my mic. So they backed out. Um, they they were not able to cut a deal with these companies. News got out, and GameStop stock tanked 27%. And since this was announced, um, Joe, is this again? I'm not a doom and gloom kind of guy, and I don't want to talk doom and gloom on the podcast. But is this it? I mean, will this start something that would either make GameStop, one, maybe change their 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 strategy completely, or will this be the gradual decline of and eventual disappearance of GameStop?
Yeah, I'm unfortunately feeling the decline. I'm feeling that looking at the state of games as a whole, and where you purchase your games, how you purchase your games. Digital is very popular obviously right now, but you still have a market for physical copies, what they really pinned their services on was the trade-ins and buying used games at a discount, and that worked for a while, and it was a good idea, I think, initially. But a couple things that really have hurt them is, for one, they're always made fun of for their trade-in values. It's hilarious.
Yeah.
It's just not. There's no point in trading your games in right now. You might as well keep them. It's better off value just holding onto your game than giving up a game for free and you think you're actually getting something out of it.
Yeah, I think last time I traded actually traded in games was when I got my PS3. I mean, this was back in 2007. I was super freaking broke. So I gave him a bunch of PS2 games that I was not going to play again and, get a couple PS3 games.
Yeah.
I think I traded in like 13 games or something.
Wow.
And I got one game out of that.
Yeah, see, that just shows you the equivalencies there, what I'm talking about, the not a good value in their business model for the trade-ins there. And obviously that was what they really pinned themselves on was, come here and buy games or trade your games or sell it back to us or whatever, right? But the other thing, as I said, there's two things. The first one was trade-in being an issue for them now, and then the second thing is their used games. Obviously that's a big point of their service as well, and I think in a day and age where people want to have their, day one access codes and, different values that you get with having your first brand new copy of a game, you miss out a lot on that with, buying a used game. You're not going to have those codes. The person who owned it before has already used it. So yeah, it's at a discount, but you miss out on a lot of things where if you'd spend, it's not even that much of a discount. Like you might spend $5 to $10 more and get a brand new thing and get something that's well worth your extra $10, if not even more, just from having that brand new game. And there's nothing like having a brand new game, right? So I think those two things are the things that really harm them. With that being said, Obed, talking about their future and talking about unfortunate predictions of demise, I think there's still a way they can survive, Obed, but I think it's going to require a lot of evolution to, unfortunately, I hate to say it, but just existing online. If they become an online only thing instead of having a store, that might be the way they survive, and then maybe someone else will acquire them that way, so that way they can really cut their fees for just operational fees that they have there. That probably would benefit them. But looking at it, Obed, I mean, Amazon games is a great value. I use that all the time with my Prime. I
use Best Buy, man.
Best Buy is the one I was going to go into. And they have, also similar stuff with trade-ins and etc. So, I mean, there's enough competition out there. But, people are buying their games digitally. They're buying them online. And nobody's really trading in or thinking about buying used games anymore. So GameStop doesn't really have anything that sets them apart. Even their pre-buy specials, it's not like you can't get that pre-buy special somewhere else for the most part. There's nothing really that special. So that's my point.
Yeah, and I think they have the worst rewards program ever.
Yeah.
Their rewards program is the worst, dude.
It doesn't reward you.
It doesn't reward. The contrary. You have to pay for a year, a yearly fee, and then you get a discount on used games. Right? I got Resident Evil 2 and Kingdom Hearts 3. Right? I got a $10 Best Buy rewards credit on Resident Evil 2.
That's rewards.
Which I already had pre-ordered using a $10 credit. So, and I got the deluxe edition of Resident Evil 2 when it came out. So I saved the difference that the deluxe edition cost, plus they sent me an extra $10. Plus, when Kingdom Hearts came out, I got another $10 back. Dude, I got $20. Are you serious? And
just for buying games you were already gonna buy.
Yeah, exactly. And I can just go ahead and pre-order another game with those $20 and just save $20 on a game. Come on, man. And then GameStop tries to charge me a year to buy used games that God knows where those games been. I don't know. I once bought a game at GameStop used and it looked like someone actually ate on the freaking disc, and I was like, "Are you serious, dude? You're gonna give me this crap?" So I mean, it's bad. Like their rewards program's terrible. Service has gone better. You know, it's been better the last few times that I've been at GameStop, but dude, it's like I order something at Best Buy, I pre-order it, I go to work, I come home, and they just my package is here already.
It's there. Yeah.
It's I don't have to worry about going to the store, showing my driver's license, and having to scan my thumbprint and all this crap that GameStop does.
I know.
You know, it's ridiculous. You know what? You know, at the end of the day, if someone is going to buy GameStop and keep it afloat, the only company that I could see doing it would be Amazon, because I think they would be able to find some value in it. But at the end of the day, you know, I think that they should sell ThinkGeek to you know, a company that would, you know, maybe like Hot Topic or something, a company that would a company that would keep it open, because they do sell good stuff at their ThinkGeek stores.
I agree.
You know, but unfortunately, when it comes to, you know, just games, I know that you need a place to buy your consoles, but and they've been cutting back on a lot of inventory too. Like I remember my local store that I you know would go to browse, because you know I go in and check out stuff. I remember that store was gigantic, and then they split it in two, and then it became half GameStop, half man, what was that Apple store that they opened, that the GameStop opened, and they closed within a year?
I can't remember the name now.
Oh man, it was something Mac, and that closed within the year, and then they opened ThinkGeek at that location. But then actually ThinkGeek is spreading over to the GameStop, because the GameStop's now like half ThinkGeek, half GameStop, and then next door is ThinkGeek, like a whole store for it. So, I mean, man, it sucks to see them go, right? But
of course,
they're being a victim of their own, you know, terrible rewards program. Just customer service not great. It's always, you know, the some of the quality of the used games is bad. Sometimes you go buy a used game, they don't have the case for it and all this crap. It's like, if I was gonna buy a used game, I would probably go to Gamersync, the place that I'm telling you about. Is a mom and pop shop right across the street from GameStop, and those guys that work there, you know, great service, good conversations, and their stores, it looks, everything that they have, and the games that I've bought from them used are in great shape, and they're complete in box. So can't complain about that. But yeah, man, I mean, we'll see where this goes with GameStop. But Joel, now for sure, that's all I got, man. If you want to just go ahead and take us home.
Great. For sure, guys, make sure to go ahead and stay following us on social media. You know how we talked about earlier in this episode about the Ben Affleck situation with Matt Reeves and the Batman series, and him now no longer being a part of it. Well, guess what? We had posted back when the news had come out about Henry Cavill no longer being a part of the Shazam and basically leaving the DC cinematic universe. We had actually posted a really funny photo of the actors, the cast together, and kind of made it look like an Avengers dust, disintegration of Henry Cavill and a little bit of Ben Affleck. Go ahead and check out that photo by following us on our social media. It was really funny. So it came to mind when we were talking about this specific story. So go ahead and give us a follow on our social media at No Load Time. That's at No Load Time on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. Guys, also be sure to be subscribed to our show. Be subscribed via audio podcast on iTunes, Google Play, and SoundCloud. Also, we're now on Spotify, which is really awesome. So go ahead and share that with your friends and family.
And Castbox.
Guys, we're out there, so there's no need for you not to be able to listen to us. Of course, you can always subscribe and watch us on our video versions as well here on YouTube. please also feel free to send any feedback, questions, comments that you might have. We may even discuss it here on the show. Send an email to nolotime@gmail.com. That's nolotime@gmail.com. Oh, but I think it'd be fun one of these days to maybe do like a mailbag episode or something like that. So guys, send in some questions or something. Maybe we could think about doing that someday. But we need you guys to send some feedback and whatnot to us.
Cool. Yeah, absolutely, you guys. Any feedbacks, absolutely welcome. And yeah, like Joel said, we can do a questions episode. That'd be fun. Yeah, for sure. But again, thank you guys, and we will see you again next time.
See ya.